Hello, students. Teacher Davis here, and I wanted to go through the week 4 discussion, nature versus nurture. As you can see, our first step, of course, is to post your responses and make sure that you are reading these, the steps that you need to take. I know a lot of times we just want to jump in and complete the work, but for some of you, you're missing out on points because you're not following the directions. Remember that our discussion post is due on Friday by 11:59, and you're going to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. More is always better. I'm going to take the 2 best responses that you post. So if you do post to 3 or 4 people, I look at the rubric and I grade you according to your best post. Make sure that you're reading this information. Your discussion post should be 1 to 2 paragraphs and should fully address the prompt. A prompt is a question. And you should cite your sources using APA format. And there's a disclaimer at the bottom of all discussions, so make sure that you're reading that and you're not copying anyone else's work. Now you're going to click above to have access to the discussion. And before you begin, make sure you've completed all required readings. In this week 4 discussion, you're going to read Chapter 8. The Chapter 8 learning materials on nature versus nurture, and respond to the following questions. And these are the questions I'm going to jump over. I've written them out and provided some more detailed information about what I'm looking for. So let's do that right now. The first question: do you feel that personality traits are primarily inherited or influenced by the environment? What is your evidence? Provide examples from your own personal experiences and what you've observed. So what this means is that you should decide whether you believe that your personality is mostly shaped by genetics, nature, or life experiences and environment, nurture, or explain if you believe that maybe both played a part in it. For me personally, my own personal view of this is that it's a little bit nature and a little bit nurture. But that's just me. Explain why you hold this option. And then support your answer with evidence like information from the textbook or course materials. You might want to look up an article on nature versus nurture, personal experiences, observations of family members, friends, or others. For example, siblings raised in the same home with different personalities. Oh my goodness, I don't know about you, but I definitely have that in my family. And then question 2, why do we think that nature versus nurture is debated? Why is there an argument centered around this? Do you feel that it's possible to answer this question definitively? Why or why not? Now, explain why scientists and psychologists continue to debate whether genetics or environment has the greater influence on human behavior and personality. Might have to do a little digging for that in your reading, in your chapter readings, or research. State whether they believe there will ever be a clear, definitive answer to the debate. And then explain their reasoning. For example, they might argue that both genetics and environment interact in complex ways, making it difficult to separate, their effects. You just can't separate nature and nurture. Advances in genetics and neuroscience may provide more answers in the future. Human behavior is too complex for one simple explanation. But you explain this, okay? In simple terms, these questions are asking you, share your opinion, support your opinion, think critically about why psychologists continue to debate this issue, and then explain whether they think the debate can ever be fully settled and why. Now, these questions will encourage you to move beyond simply recalling facts and instead apply psychological concepts to your own experiences. I want to hear from you. What do you think? This is going to be an interesting assignment, and I look forward to reading your responses. Remember, I'm also going to ask you questions. And so make sure that, as you read, you're taking notes. Boy, I can't wait for you to jump in to this assignment. All right, everyone, have a great week 4.